Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain, and well, we have Out of the Park Baseball 22. I've been really excited to play this for a while now. It's finally come out, so well, let's go and have a first look at it, shall we? So off the top, a little bit of YouTube admin. If you are new to my channel, make sure that you go and subscribe, ring the bell so you don't upload new videos. And of course, if you enjoy this particular video, make sure you hit thumbs up so that more people are then able to find it. But that's, as I said, the admin done. Let's go and have a look and see what this new game is all about. I've started up a game with the Mets. They are my favorite team, which is why I have decided to go with them. So today we'll play a game against the Nationals on opening day. We want to have a quick look and see the game first up. The home screen here, it looks relatively similar. Certainly the injury list, if you are following along with my Colorado Rockies series of Out of the Park Baseball 21, that looks unfortunately familiar as well, doesn't it? But all sort of similar screens here, which is fair enough, to be honest, because it displays the information, I guess, as well as you can. So that is that. I don't know what they do, so we'll just leave those. The players, so this is a little bit different, isn't it? So this is an overview of the Major League team, I'm assuming. It's not beyond that, because it would be a longer list, wouldn't it? Then we've got the minor leagues, and okay, so the upcoming free agents for your club players has moved. So that's one thing. That's under players now, not under front office. So that's something I think has to be aware of. Transactions, so this is just the squad screen. That this is roughly, although the injury list is there, which is useful as well. Though the injury list is also there, so maybe unnecessary to have it there, though it's usually customizable. You can probably change that. Looks like you can. Minor leagues, they're all there as well. Waivers, so this is all the same information, isn't it? And so that's the international complex, so that is available there, which I don't think it used to be. So that's a nice little addition. Pitching, that's all the same sort of information. It's set out a little bit nicer in general, I think, isn't it? It looks like there's more space in the screen, which is good. The lineups, again, it's all roughly the same. That might be different, but yeah. Anyway, the strategy and then player strategy, that is all looks relatively similar to what it had been. Is there any more options here? No, I think that's all roughly the same, isn't it? At first glance there. The front office, so finances is that's the usual screen, isn't it? I don't notice anything instantly different there. The owner screen, again, is relatively the same. No major differences there. I noticed the accounting, salaries, scouting. Now, has the scouting screen changed at all? Again, well, I'll tell you what does need to change is the Mets scout. He is horrible. But otherwise, that all looks roughly the same. Scouting actions looks roughly the same as well. Player development screen, I've got to be honest, not something I've ever paid too much attention to, which is obviously a downfall in the way that I play, but again, I think it looks roughly the same. Personnel, now this is where it's changed, isn't it? Because there's also this staff roles, which is a massive improvement. You can finally get players to teach certain skills to certain players. We can see the staff cohesion there as well. So this is one of the big upgrades of the game, and I've got to say I'm really happy to see this. Now, if we were to click on someone here, now we get a better idea too of actually how good the coach is. Now that again is a massive improvement, because I always found it was a little bit of just a guessing game before this as to exactly how good a coach was. So this to me is just a massive improvement, and that was the one thing I really did want, even above improving the graphics, which I understand have been improved. This was what I really wanted, and I'm so happy that that's happened. So that is absolutely brilliant. So that is the scout, and then the personnel. It's roughly the same, isn't it? You have coaches for all the lower, what's it called, the farm system. I do wonder a little bit exactly if this is going to improve at all or change as the game sort of progresses, but I guess we'll find that out as we go. But it'd be interesting to see if the coaches do improve, so even as their reputation improves, if their sort of ability improves as well. So that'll be interesting to see. Schedule is what it is. Info, that all looks roughly the same, doesn't it? What's reports? Oh, okay, so this is a little bit different. So you'll be able to get player reports as the game progresses. News, that's like the email, it looks like. History, retired numbers, so that's all roughly the same as it was previously, isn't it? So that's a quick look anyway at how everything looks. The standing screen, I always like to get the leaderboards going as well. Again, that all looks roughly the same, doesn't it? Anything else here? I mean, there will be things as you go, sort of the draft and things like that, the prospect pipeline, all this sort of stuff, I guess, will develop as the game gets underway. But I'm really curious to have a look at these new graphics. They're supposed to have been a really, really big upgrade. Certainly from what I've seen so far, they appear to be. So let's go and have a look at some opening day action. It'll be the Mets and the Nationals. So the start screen looks, again, relatively similar to how it had been. Well, the Mets match up really well against the Nationals, don't they? Max Scherzer's on the mound for them, and we should have DeGrom. We do. Wow, look at that. The scoreboard, the lights, that is a big, big upgrade, isn't it? Now, this is the Washington Stadium, obviously, rather than the Mets. Now, one thing I do need to do that I should have done is adjust this so you can see behind my head. 1 second. Okay, there we go. So that should be a little bit more clear now. You can see behind my head. But yeah, I've got to say, very impressed with this. Now, the camera angles are, I think, roughly the same. Now, one thing I did want to change was ball tracking, because I'm not a fan of that. I may not have an option to do that, though, now, do I? Here we go, follow ball. Yeah, so I can get rid of that. It just makes me feel a bit sick. A couple of other things I have changed here is the ball size. I've moved, we've got big balls. Where is it here? There it is there, ball size. It's very big balls we have. So that's where you would change that if you're interested. But anyway, let's get some game action going here. It is Lindor, who is new to the Mets this season, I am of the understanding. And so this is just the normal camera angle. Now, what I do like to do typically is, we can have a play around with this as we go here, but I do like this as the, actually not for that one. I like that as not the initial. I like the default camera as the initial, and as the pitch camera, I like that one. There we go. Obviously, you can be able to play around that, figure out what you like as you go. I should quickly say too that starting probably on Monday, we're going to be doing a series that's well hit by Conforto, and so this must be the dynamic thing. I'm not sure I love that. Let's give it a little bit of time to see if it sort of grows on us. My boy Blue coming up. Pete Alonso, he's popped that up, and that should end the first. Yeah, we are going to be doing a series with the Yankees, which I know is controversial, but American heroes only playing with American players. So that means when we start, I'll trade away every player in the system that isn't American. So that's going to be an interest. I don't think I like that. It's an option. It's there for you, obviously. As far as I'm aware, that's a new addition, but I don't think I like that. Oh, that's well hit, is it? Yes, it is. It gets into right field there, and we keep him at second. Just generally speaking, the graphics are quite an improvement, aren't they? That's well hit as well. Yeah, that gets into center field. Can Nimmo keep him from scoring? It doesn't look like he can, and we've fallen behind. 1-0 to the Nationals. Yeah, so yeah, it should be an interesting challenge. I'm not sure how successful it's going to be. Reason I chose the Yankees is just to try and make them lovable. Try and not be the most hated team in baseball, because they are. Let's face it. I think if you're a Yankees fan, part of the love affair is the fact that you just accept everybody else hates you. So it'll be interesting to see how we get on with that, and if indeed we all start finding ourselves maybe not liking the Yankees, but not perhaps hating them with all our being. Smith comes in to bat now, lead us off. He's popped that up, and that'll be one away. Just looking here, this seems like it's a nicer layout as well, doesn't it? Now, can we put that down behind J.D. Davis? That's fine, because we don't need to see what's happening in the bullpen, because as you may have noticed, I'm just the general manager. I don't understand baseball well enough to be able to do the strategy, like sort of the batter by batter strategy. So I usually just set the lineups in my Let's Plays and hire a manager to do the intelligent stuff for me. I'm really liking this. I think that's brilliant. Now we've got a slightly different camera angle there, haven't we? This is different to the first one. The initial, so do we need that one? That must be what we want to start with, so it's roughly the same. There's another strikeout for Mr. DeGrom. Excellent stuff. And Kai Boom will come into bat now, one of my favorite names. And he's got himself a hit as well, a 2-out single there. Yeah, so let me know in the comments what you think of the new game. I mean, the graphics are still not sort of MLB The Show level, but I don't necessarily think they ever... Oh, Jesus Christ, what are we doing out there? I don't ever think necessarily they will be, and I don't even really think it's not that sort of game. I know in Out of the Park Baseball 21, what's happening with DeGrom here just quietly? He's given up 3 runs in 2 innings. A lot of people were complaining about the graphics and that it was, you know, it was basically like watching a 1990s game. And to be, I mean, the people that say that aren't necessarily wrong. But again, I think the sort of game it is, I don't think that this part of it is necessarily that important, but it did need to be fixed, and I think they've done a fairly decent job on doing that. It looks, well, just the crowd in general. Well, there is actually no crowd there, is there? It looks like. I don't know if that's a setting that I have that I can play around with, or if it's sort of realistic for COVID. But yeah, just the actual park itself looks quite good. I've actually been to Nationals Park. I was sitting just here somewhere. Just around there somewhere, and there was a walk-off home run that just fell in front of me. But that's my only experience at Nationals Park. And that is well hit, and Nimmo is there, though, and makes the play. Of course, Nimmo we called Treadmill back from our days at the Mets and now the Park Baseball. Is that, what, 19 now? The Park Baseball 19, was it? Because he always walks. He's a walking machine, so he's Treadmill. Is that going to be a catch? I mean, I'd like to say it's going to be a catch, but we saw out here, not necessarily always going to happen. All right, let's get some runs here, boys. Come on, Jeff McNeil to the plate. It's an 0-1 pitch, and McNeil has popped it up. Let's see if they can drop a ball out there like we can. No, they're professional. They know how to make a catch. In comes Mr. Conforto. He got a hit last time up. Down into right field, wasn't it? This time he goes the other way, and he has another hit. Michael Conforto goes 2 for 2. Which is nice to see. My boy Blue, Petey Alonso. What can he do? Can he hit on something? No, he cannot. That is a strikeout. And it brings up Dominic Smith, who, let's face it, he owes us for that dropped ball. It's an 0-2 pitch. He strikes out. That ends the innings. And it's not particularly going to plan, is it? Well, I mean, I'm not going to spend too much time. We don't want the video going on for forever. That's going to be a home run. Yes, it is. Well, DeGrom doesn't want to have a good opening day, does he? His Out of the Park Baseball 22 has been a terrible start. 4 runs in 4 innings for DeGrom. And his batters aren't helping him out either. That's a ground ball. That should be easy. There we go. That's one away. McCann is a new player on me, I've got to admit. I mean, I'm not a baseball expert by any means. I do just enjoy playing the game, basically. But McCann is a new one on me. I look forward to seeing him playing for the Mets this year. It's hard to see Lindor too, actually, because he is, well, certainly in Out of the Park Baseball, becomes a very, very good player. I do wish that the names would, we can't do it, would be a little bit closer to the, certainly, at least the infielders would be a little bit closer. But anyway, there's probably a setting you can do to change that, but I'm not going to play around with it whilst we're on camera here. McCann, not quite in time. But yeah, let me know what, as I said, what you guys think. Who you think's going to win Major League Baseball this year? I've been tempted to sim ahead actually and do the whole season and see who comes out on top. I might do that actually even yet, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, it's going to be a weird season, I think, because, well, you know, the chances of there being fans certainly at the start of it are not very good. And it's got to be weird if you're a professional athlete and you're used to sort of feeding off the crowd for a point. It's got to be difficult to almost play with the same intensity that you would do in an empty stadium. I found the same thing. Well, I thought the same thing with sort of soccer or football, depending on where you're from. The rugby as well. It's got to be difficult. I don't know. I'm not an NFL fan, but I mean, I think to the point where I don't actually know if they had fans in the stadium for the NFL this year. That's how that's how little of a fan I am. But yeah, it'll be interesting season. Obviously, I hope my Mets do well, but certainly based off of this, maybe not. But Lindor's got to be a good pickup for them. I think it depends too what sort of shape Syndergaard comes back in after his injury woes. I'd like to see, there we go, McNeil. If Pete Alonso can get another good season away with home runs. Because last season, it wasn't a proper season for them. Well, obviously it wasn't a proper season for them, but even just in terms of, I would imagine that, so they sort of build into it, don't they, through the year to sort of try and peak at the end of the regular season into the postseason, so that start so late and then kind of, in a way, it was a more intense season, wasn't it? Because you couldn't really afford to drop too many games because you didn't have that many games to make up for it as DeGrom issues a walk. Well, I mean, he's gone deep into the game, but it just hasn't been a sort of DeGrom performance, has it? Can we get a double play there? No, we can't. I do think the actual animation, between not just the sort of the graphics and the way it looks, but it does appear as Tommy Hunter comes in the pitch that it just seems like it's all matched up a little bit better. You used to see in Out of the Park 21, didn't you, where, you know, it would be like, the commentary up here would say it's a close play, but they'd be out by a mile or vice versa. It does look as though it's kind of synced up a little bit better. Well, that's certainly my impression so far this game anyway. My boy Blue to lead us off. Come on, get on the one. No, he doesn't, and he pops that up. And here we go again with Dominic Smith, who still owes us for that error. Was that in the first? I wonder if that cost us a run, that error. I can't even remember now if it did. It probably did, didn't it? J.D. Davis comes in now to bat. J.D. Davis strikes out. And we are 1 out away from a stretch. Brendan Nimmo comes in. Nimmo walks, of course he does. Go on, treadmill. 2 on, 2 out. This is a big at bat for us now. It's McCann to face the new man, Daniel Hudson, on the mound. It's a 1-1 pitch, and he has popped that up. And we will stretch 4-0 down. And we've only had 3 hits. We can't really complain that we're losing here, can we? I wonder, I'm just going to have a play around and see if I can fix the player names here. So this is with small labels. I'm not convinced I like that any better, and it still seems way too high above them. So I'm not sure, to be honest, that that's fixed the problem, has it? We'll have another go. Alright, there we go. So you can move them. I'll show you what I did here. Customizable label locations. So that's how I've changed it. Yeah, I'm not convinced that that's any better, to be honest, but there we go. It could be. Oh, Jesus Christ, Lindor! That's a double play, man. Well, I'm going to guess that the Mets are just a little bit shy, perhaps. That's well hit into right center field, and that's going to extend the lead by 2. And it's not been a good opening day for the Mets, has it? There's been a terrible opening day. A little bit of a spanking on the cards here, it looks like. And Schwarb has been injured. That's a shame. Yeah, actually, I wonder if you got to right click as well to drag the things over. So Lindor should be there. I'm not convinced that I actually like this any better, if I'm honest, but and there's Nimmo out there. But obviously you can play around with it to find what you like as well. At least it is customizable. That's one thing I would say. And the fact that it's different to how it was in Out of the Park 21 as well, that there'd be a big part of it, I would imagine, that you just need to get used to it and it'll be fine. But, yeah, like I say, at least it is customizable. Then maybe that is a little bit better now. And there's a wild pitch. This is... So I think the one thing we can take away from this, Mets aren't very good. Which is a shame, I've got to say. But, yeah, we're not playing a game with the Mets for at least the first bit, so it's not going to worry me too much. But, oh, they better be better than this in real life. We go to the 8th. We start with a strikeout. Louis Guamore coming in. Some of these names I haven't said since we were at the Mets in, it must have been Out of the Park 19. Guamore gets himself a walk. McNeil comes in the bat now. McNeil pops it straight up. And for one last time, we'll see my boy Blue, Pete Alonso, coming up to bat. And let's see. Oh, and we've taken him out. No, he's not coming up next. Never mind. And we actually... Oh, we'll see him in the 9th. He can make it 7-1 for us. This is just such a bad performance, isn't it? Jacob Barnes comes on the pitch now. Like I say at the top, if you are in... Oh, It's just a game, you're having fun, and it doesn't even matter because it's it's just 3 errors. We've had as many errors as we have hits. That is... well, it's not great, is it? Let's be honest. And that is going to score a run, is it? No, we do manage to keep the runners at 3rd and 2nd. Barnes to continue an 0-2 pitch. We get a strikeout. Nicely done. Go and have a seat, please, Robles. In comes Juan Soto. And he has popped it up. And you would imagine that's going to be deep enough to score the runner from 3rd. It's a good throw from Nimmo. It's going to be tight. He does just get there, though. And that makes it 8-0. Tina Turner into bat now. A 2-2 pitch for him. And it's staying in. Just for a horrible second there. That looked like it might be heading up into the left field fans there. But no such luck. And it's Austin Booth to face. Oh, we've taken my boy out. Well, it doesn't even matter anymore. Can we have some sort of epic comeback? It doesn't look like it. Struck out on 3 pitches. Kevin Pillar comes in. Formerly of the Blue Jays, I think, wasn't he? He pops one up. That'll be 2 away. And we're down to our final out. And, well, can we at least end up with more hits and errors? That's, I think, the minimum we could ask for, isn't it? J.D. Davis. 0-1 pitch. And J.D. Davis does. He pulls the hits ahead of the errors. We're going to claim that as victory today because that's been that sort of game, hasn't it? Brendan Nimmo comes in. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. And Brendan Nimmo strikes out. That ends the game. But the important thing is the stadium looks nice. So not a great performance from our Mets here, but generally speaking, though, I think I really like the game. I think it's a big improvement, and certainly in the areas that you want it to be. I'm really, really looking forward to seeing how this staff rolls and that the improvements here. I tell you what, the coaching staff at the Mets is absolutely horrid. Not that I can talk, I'm just as bad as everybody else, but wow. Yes, I'm really excited to see how this sort of plays out as the game goes on. Yeah, and obviously the game itself looks better, which is great. But that's my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. There is a link in the description down to my Discord channel. If you want to go there, we can have a further discussion. I really, really do enjoy the Discord and interacting with all you guys. But that's it for today. There will be more Out of the Park Baseball 22 content coming up, beginning with, of course, or certainly not limited to anyway, the American Heroes Episode 1. So keep an eye out for that. And I will see you next time, hopefully, at some juncture in the future. Take care.